Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today is new moon and if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out massively. So I just thought I'd add that in. So we go back to the new moon. It is new moon today, and for me this cycle I call the lightning moon through the system that I work with. And that spark of lightning is like a fresh beginning, a new start. And I mean, every time we say about this, don't we? Oh, a new beginning, new things coming in. We have to make that happen for ourselves. And it's not always necessary to have newness. Sometimes it's necessary to work on what we already have. And that's something as well as part of this, is what you have been working on kind of come into fruition now, coming to a point where actually you can reap the rewards, you can celebrate now, you can receive the harvest for your hard work. It is also D-Day today, so that got me thinking about that kind of that relief feeling, that celebration feeling, that coming home feeling. And that's what I want to kind of talk to you about today within this reading. Is I'm going to pull some archetype cards and see who I am directly talking to. But you'll know if it's you because there's something about something calling you home. You've been on a journey, you've been through something, and you've had kind of like a breakthrough or a realization about what is actually calling you home. And it's time to celebrate that thought, that feeling. Now, if you've been in doubts about going back to something, or, you know, it could be going back to a job or going back home to family, or just something that feels like it's home, but you maybe have had to be away from it. This is something being called back in by the sound of it. So I'm going to pick some archetype cards and stop waffling now and see what we have for you today. So let's see where your energy is. So remember, with the archetype cards, I picked 4 of these. If it sounds like you, then this is your reading. If it doesn't sound like you, but it sounds like somebody like you, or somebody that you like, then it still might be worth sticking around. We have Gambler, first of all. Athlete. So this could be somebody that is into their physical fitness. So you might be into going to the gym, maybe working on some kind of training at the moment, or like to do that. And Gambler is kind of like someone that likes to take risks. Maybe isn't so great with money. Ooh, prostitute. And I'm going to take that one as well, damsel. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Now, prostitute, this one kind of like comes out a lot. So this is the kind of energy of where you may put services forward for financial gain, for financial reward. But sometimes I've got a feeling here of somebody that might kind of find situations where you've put money ahead of your morals, or ahead of, you know, protecting yourself, basically. You know, maybe doing things to bring money in that perhaps aren't really above board, that kind of thing. We have damsel as well here, which is understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. So I kind of feel like somebody's gone from being in connections or in situations where they've stayed for reasons other than love or commitment, and you're moving into this energy of actually feeling like you are worth more, you are worth a healthy love, but you may be sort of like very romanticizing what that looks like and how that looks, and that might be hindering you actually forming deep connections, because it's like as soon as that person doesn't match up to what you've been looking for, you're kind of out of there. So athlete and gambler. So you do like to look after yourself. I feel like this is somebody that is very physically fit, likes to look good, and sees kind of like physical strength as having power, and you don't like to feel physically weak. You like to make sure that you look strong and that you are strong. That makes you feel strong in yourself. But sometimes that can be a mask to hide your vulnerability. It can sort of keep you out of your emotional body and more in your physical body, if that makes sense. So I do feel like somebody here is kind of like trying to access their emotional body, but maybe very much in the physical. And that is something that you've been doing for a long time. So whenever you kind of start to drop into your emotional body, you will quickly go back to the gym or start doing some kind of training, because that keeps you in check. It's a bit like a form of meditation sometimes for many of you. It's sort of like the exercise that you're doing. It helps you to manage your mind. So it's a bit like a meditation. That could be whether it's running or circuit training or boxing or going to the gym, you know, doing that sort of thing. That's kind of keeping you physically fit and sorting your mind out. So if that sounds like you, then this is definitely your reading. Or if that sounds like somebody that you're inquiring about, then again, just stick around to see what comes out that you need to know. So what runes are connected to this energy today? I knew this was going to come out. Enlightenment. This is like a breakthrough at this time. It's like the dawn of a new day, a new chapter. And that's the thing with the D-Day thing. It's sort of like, you know, landing on those beaches is kind of like, it's a new day. And D-Day actually means day. Apparently it's sort of like the beginning of an operation, but also like it meant day. This is the day sort of thing. How many times can I say day? Seriously. And this is the balance between, it's sort of like time, the illusion of time. So for instance, you know, you've got an amount of time, maybe if you've been away from home for 2 months, okay, your perception of that time could have gone fast or slow, depending on what you were doing or how you were feeling. And your family members may have had a different perception of that time. But when we're in the moment, time doesn't really matter. The illusion of time is completely broken, because it's like, well, right now I'm in this moment and time could stand still in that moment. So let's see. Rado. So this breakthrough, this kind of illumination that you're going through at this time, it's bringing you the dawn of a new day, and it's changing your direction. It's helping you to see a different way forward. And this is a way that really resonates with your heart, I feel. So you imagine all those people going home to their families, seeing their loved ones again. There's love there. And that's what I'm feeling from this. It's kind of like the direction you're choosing is in love. And that's a massive change. There's a real sudden change. Now this is aligned with the new moon, the lightning moon, because it's like where lightning strikes, nothing can ever be the same, can it? And it's almost like this. And also lightning kind of represents the messages from God or goddess, whatever you believe in. It's kind of like that shot that runs through you, that you can't ignore it. Once that's happened, you can't ignore it, and it stops you in your tracks. You cannot unsee it. It's seen. And that's where you are right now, is something that you've had an epiphany about or a realization about. You can't unsee it now. And now that you can't unsee it, your energy is changing rapidly. So let's see what we're talking about, shall we? Let's have a look in your T cards at this time. What is this talking about right now? Okay, half the pack came out, so I'm going to do that again. So, dog, protection from a powerful friend. So some of you feel like you need to protect yourselves from somebody at this time. Now, why is that? Is it through fear that this person can see through you or see things in you that you don't want to expose, that you don't want to be seen? And maybe that's what Dagaz is kind of relating to on here, is sort of like it's enlightened you to something or somebody that you isn't making you feel very good at this time. It's making you feel like you need to keep away from it. And I don't like the energy of that. It's almost like it feels like somebody has a power over you. A meeting with a stranger could be important. So again, aligning with this energy of new beginning and celebration, and some direction that you're choosing is actually going to open up doors for you that you didn't expect in more ways than one. This is the right choice for you. Yeah, grapes, time to go out and have fun. So you're in this point of celebration. Don't ignore this time of celebration, okay? If you've been invited out, if you've been asked to go and do something, go and do it, because there's something there that's going to change your world. There's definitely something new happening for you on here. Oh my God, I just did that. I just knocked everything out of the way. Wow, so that's a real tower moment. Things kind of just going all over the place. It's almost like something is going to break very, very soon. Something is going to either shatter or break or just get struck by lightning, and it's going to be very unexpected that's happening in your life. And that could actually be today. I think it's going to be very soon. I mean, it depends. This is a timeless reading. So from the time that you're watching this reading, I'd say within the next 24 hours, this is going to take place. I would love it if you pop down in the comment box when this actually happens. Dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. So when you align with this, and maybe this is what you're moving towards, maybe this is the home feeling that you're getting, there is somebody that thinks a lot about you, is really thinking about you, and maybe you could have been dreaming about this person, because if they've been thinking about you, they may be popping up in your dreams. So you might want to contact that person if you know who this is. Candle, you will be shown the way. So don't fear, don't worry about what's about to break through, what's about to happen, because you are going to get the guidance that you need to move forward. And we have a 4-leaf clover. Great good fortune. That's very interesting, because just this morning I've got loads of clover out in my garden, and I was thinking of going and looking for 4-leaf clovers. You know, you have got luck on your side, and especially if you've got that gambler energy within you, it's kind of like this is the time now to take that chance. You know, don't shy away from it. There's a chance to be had, and it's looking like it's successful. Now we've got pin, new job or career, and moon, changes in your life, and broken bridge, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. Now, it feels like maybe this tower moment, this situation that's going to occur, is kind of like something that you thought you wanted that's just going to be absolutely broken, obliterated into pieces. But it's actually going to show you the true path, the real way forward. And some of you are going to be changing your jobs very soon. In the next month or so, you are going to be changing what you're doing. It's interesting because to me, it's like the pin is something that you put into something to, you know, like pop a balloon or something like that. I mean, yeah, you can use a pin for more productive things like sewing and things like that. So it's interesting. I came up with popping a balloon, but that was the first thought that came to my head, which is about something like something needs to just be destroyed in a way. Something needs to be broken in order for you to see clearly, or for you to be done with it in a way. Okay, for you to see it was just full of hot air. It was just full of air. There was no real potency to it. There was no real consistency to it. It was just air. Okay, and that's what you are starting to recognize. So I think that's what this broken bridge is about. Something that you thought was more than it actually is. It is not. But it is going to mean changes in your life. And it's interesting because the moon is about illumination, as well as daggers being about illumination as well. So you are being awakened to illusion that's around you and realizing the way forward. Okay. Haystack, karma, you will reap what you have sown. So this karma doesn't always mean like, oh, you're going to get it because you did something bad. Karma is about balance, and karma is about, you know, orlog as well, which is sort of like what you do from today. So say like today, you do something, it's going to impact the next day, and it's going to impact any days after that, what you do today. And we can look back on the past and think like, well, if I hadn't have done that, then this wouldn't have happened. And that can be in a positive or a negative trait. So for instance, you hadn't have broken up with that person, you would never have gone out with your friend to the pub and met this person that you then feel like is your soulmate, that kind of energy. Yeah, so it's kind of like where you find yourself is aligning you with what's right for you, what's meant for you. So if you feel like you've done bad in the past, or you've done this or you've done that, it's about what you do now to put it right. Okay, so you can't undo the past, and yes, you will maybe reap some consequences for your actions, whether that's like somebody leaving your life or you having to change home or job or something, depending on what it is. But it won't keep haunting you. It won't curse you for the rest of your life, because that's what I'm hearing here, is that somebody feels like they've been cursed, like they kind of get close to a particular avenue or something and then feel like, oh, but I can't have that. I feel like I've been cursed because of something I did in the past. No, if that happens, it's because another reason. It's because it's been blocked from you for a particular reason. And it doesn't mean it's gone out of your life forever. It just means that right now is not the time. But you seem to be moving your job. It feels to me very much like the cards are telling us about you going somewhere and meeting somebody that you weren't expecting to meet, that's going to lead onto a new job opportunity. And it could also mean moving where you are as well. There's a lot about movement here. There's a lot about taking a journey, taking an opportunity. Take care, enemies are working against you. I hate these ones. So there's something about this dog, protection from a powerful friend, and people working against you. There are some people in your energy that feel they have a power over you and feel like they have a control over you. And you may know who these people are, or you might not know who they are. It might be one person, it might be a group of people. It does feel family orientated. It does feel like it could be connected to your family. And some people, not necessarily trying to hurt you, but don't really have your best interest at heart. They don't really understand why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, and they're not really communicating that with you. I'm going to get one more of these and then we're going to move into the tarot. Yeah, Lion, time to act. So now is that time. I do feel like today is the day that you're going to have this eruption happen. Something's going to really significantly change in your life that's going to set you on this journey. Break the illusion completely. Once seen, you cannot unsee it. And it's going to change everything for you. Okay, we have egg on the bottom as well. Success assured with good plans and hard work. So you may find you have some efforts to put in at this time, but it's all going to be for the greater good. Okay, it's not going to be a negative thing for you to do. So let's see what we have on here for you. So what is this current situation talking about? It's talking about actually being vulnerable. It's talking about right now you're feeling like you have to be strong for a reason and you have to be courageous. But there's an element of vulnerability attached to that. You've really been like working on yourself, looking into yourself quite deeply in a healing way. But what challenge is this bringing up for you right now? What is the challenge here? Let's have a look. Okay, the challenge is, again, that energy of being stabbed in the back, of people kind of going against you. And maybe you're feeling this at the moment, is like what you're deciding, what you're choosing to do, people aren't all for it. And it feels like there's an anger within you, or there's a resentment is kind of the word, really. There's a resentment there. That's the challenge. There's some form of resentment that hasn't been communicated, I feel. Or if it has been communicated, it's been a miscommunication. Because with that bat, as you know, bats work on echolocation. That's how they move. Now, if there's no communication, then that bat's just going to be bouncing off the walls here, there and everywhere. And I feel like that's what's going on here, is like somebody's in the dark about this. And because they're in the dark, the communication has either been misinterpreted or not quite right. So that's the challenge here, is about communication and this feeling of resentment. So what do you need to focus on? Let's see. What do you need to focus on right now? It's asking you to focus on fond memories. Focus on the things that make you feel happy, that you can remember, because at the moment you're kind of reminiscing about negative things, but it's asking you to maybe just flip that. Reminisce on the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness. And it's almost like the things that you're thinking about that you find you catch yourself daydreaming about. Those are the things that your journey is taking you towards, that are heading towards. Okay, there is definitely something about that. I can hear the blackbird going absolutely mental out there. So that blackbirds are all about that new beginning as well. It's almost like they're communicating that clearly to you. Birds are messengers. Let's see what you need to let go of then. Six of Cups sometimes can be about reconciliation as well. So it's kind of like reunion, that sort of thing. So that's asking you to focus on that. Of something that you're reminiscing about that's positive. Okay. I feel like we want to go that way around on there. So, the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, it's kind of something about being single. It's about being on your own. You've got to let go of this feeling of like somebody's doing better than me. It's almost like you feel, and I keep hearing like three's a crowd. So it's almost like there's this feeling of like, oh, I'm either on my own or I'm overcrowded, and there's no real in between. That's what it feels like. So what you need to let go of on here is that you either have to be smothered or completely alone. There is an in between, but you haven't figured out how to get that balance yet. You haven't quite realised how to achieve that. Because, you know, the Nine of Pentacles is usually somebody that is happy to be single, you know, that kind of like strong, independent person. And the Three of Pentacles is about working as a team, like, you know, making a plan. So it's almost like if you've had a plan to be single, to be, you know, like, I actually really like my time on my own, I'm really enjoying being my own person, my own boss, that kind of thing. But there's something about you leaving that behind because you're either too overcrowded or in a three or something like that, or you're on your own. And it feels like maybe what you really want is just a companion, like just two. That's what I'm getting from that. Let me just see what we have on here. I've got to stretch my legs now. I'm starting to be able to cross them a little bit more, but not for very long. They do ache a bit. Let's have a look what we have for the past, for the future, sorry. Just got the Eight of Wands on there. That keeps coming out lately. So, wow. Okay, so future is the Knight of Cups. This is a romantic night. This is about forward movement with romance, with connections. So this could be somebody reaching out to you to make an offer of love. But I do feel that you have a romantic time coming up. This is your future card. Now, this could be you reaching out to somebody, or it could be somebody reaching out to you. However way it goes, there is romance in the air in your future. And it feels like it is something to do with that reconciliation. There's something about a letter or a message or something that's very heartfelt, that's full of words, full of explanations, and very, very well thought through. What advice do we have for you at this time? What advice can I give you right now? Whoa. Yeah. So The advice is saying, stop worrying. You're worrying far too much. You are overthinking this, and it might be keeping you awake at night. You might be really not able to sleep because this thought is on your mind. It's like something, again, I do feel like this is about a relationship actually. It's like something has happened or it's about to happen, that's really rocked your world and shown you what you really want. And that has enlightened you to a situation. And like we said, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And it's changed your direction. It's given you a purpose in your direction, if you like. And there's a whole load of what feels like responsibility around this. It's almost like that is what holds you back, is something about responsibility. But the advice here is like, you want this companionship. Remember what we said, what you're leaving behind in the past. There's something about either being on your own or being in a three. You maybe had a lot of options open or something like that, whereas you've realised, actually, no, I want something solid. I want a soulmate. I want somebody that is actually my person, not just anybody. And it feels like you've had maybe a lot of connections. I'm seeing like dating apps, that kind of thing, where perhaps you've been chatting to a few people, maybe going out with a few people, but nothing's really kind of felt solid or secure or what's the word, organic. I don't know, nothing's really felt like it's more than a surface level commitment or a surface level relationship. And I do feel that there's something you're reminiscing about, something you're focused on or thinking about, that you've had a realisation on, that you're realising, actually, that's what I want, but something holds you back from it. And you're worrying about it, you're fearing it, or what is that that's stopping you from feeling like you can have that? So the advice here is sort of like, stop worrying about it, stop over analysing it, and just go for it. Just absolutely go for it. You spent such a long time in introspection, thinking about this, wondering about this. It's almost like hyper focused on it, but not actually doing anything about it. And it feels like the situation here that's happening is that maybe this opportunity is slipping away from you, and you're starting to realise that that's the case. And it's almost like flipped a switch within you, is what I'm feeling. So what about your environment? Let me see what we have in your environment right now. Yeah, in your environment, there's determination. There's a real attitude of, I'm going to go for this. It doesn't matter what I've been through. It doesn't matter where I am. Now, there's something I was reading before about, in relationships, it's sort of like, it was mainly about men, but you could relate this to women as well. You could relate this to anybody, basically. If somebody wants to be in a relationship with you, whether they're ready or not, they will be with you, okay? So holding on to things where somebody, you feel like you've got to try and prove yourself to them or make them know your worth, that kind of thing, where you're tripping up over yourself to impress this person, they aren't really that interested, because if they were, they would want you to know that you are what they want, okay? Now, I feel like you in the past have maybe jumped through hoops, tried to be that person, tried to make things work. You stayed longer than maybe you should have or could have in particular situations. And in your environment now is you're sick of that kind of way of being. And now you're realising, like, I need to just switch my light on and realise actually what it is that I want, and start manifesting that, start bringing that into your environment, start doing all the things that brings in what it is that you're looking for. Now let's have a look and see what your hopes and fears are at this time. Your hopes and fears. Anytime today. Hopes and fears. Maybe you don't have any. Maybe you're just like, I'm good either way. It is what it is. Let me see. I'm going to cut the pack. Okay. So this might be fears. So basically with the Six of Cups in reverse, this is about, when it's that way round, it's about giving and receiving in balance. It's, you know, whereas I feel like maybe your fears are about an imbalance in giving and receiving. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough to give, or you feel like you will be over giving in a particular situation. However, a decision has been made. So it's almost like, maybe that's what you're hoping, is that this decision has been made, like a quick decision. And it does feel like that. So it kind of feels like, even so, there's a feeling of maybe I don't have enough to give, or maybe if this person doesn't have enough to give to me. Whatever the situation is, there is something coming in that's a decision made, that's a quick decision. Okay, it's very, very fast and it's happening now. Like I say, within the next 24 hours, I would expect something to change drastically in your life. Let's see what your outcome is then with this. So what is the outcome of this? Surrender. The outcome is about just taking that different perspective. Surrender to this. You know, it may feel, and I feel like that's the problem here. Oh, we've got the Nine of Cups on the bottom as well. That's desire, fulfillment, sensuality. There's a lot of that to do with this. That's a feeling, a real at-home feeling that I'm getting from this. And this might feel very new to you. It might feel very different to you, and that's why you are unsure about it. But the outcome is just surrender. Surrender and allow, and just see things from a different perspective. Okay. So I am going to leave this reading here for you. If this resonates with you, then please do drop an emoji or something down in the comments. Like the video as well. And if you would like to book your own personalised reading, please do get in touch. I have availability very soon for people if they want to book in for readings. Yeah, so I hope this video found you well, and I wish you all a blessed new moon.